Hello and welcome. My name is Ivan Kerrigan, and I want to talk about what a VC can't say. But I've been reminded of a sketch to start. Let's listen.
Hi, I'm Trevor Moore. Did you know that it's illegal to say I want to kill the President of the United States of America? It's illegal. It's a federal offense. It's one of the only sentences that you're not allowed to say. Now, it was okay for me to say it right then because I was just telling you that it's illegal to say I want to kill the President of the United States of America. I'm not actually saying it. I'm just letting you know that it's illegal.
Now, it's funny because it plays with the line of what you can and can't say. And I was reminded of it because recently there's been an innovation in VC. And the founder of Gumroad, Sahil, he raised a fund in public through a platform called AngelList. And it's a new kind of fund. It's called a rolling fund, and it has different requirements. And it actually caused a bit of a debate on Twitter among other VCs that weren't really sure, like, can I do this in public? Because normally you aren't allowed to. So the rules from the SEC are very clear. So I want to talk about what the rules are and then also some of the implications. And so the rules have to do with Rule 506C and 506B. And basically a 506C is different in the requirements for who can invest. And as a result, it's different in how you solicit. So I can read some of what the regulation says in 506C. The investors in the offering are all accredited investors, and the company takes reasonable steps to verify that the investors are accredited investors, which could include reviewing documentation such as W-2s, tax returns, bank and brokerage accounts, credit cards, and the like. And so what this is saying is that you can say publicly that you're raising a fund if the people you let into the fund, you verify they're accredited. Now, what does accredited mean? There are various rules for this, but it comes down to having money. And so if you have enough money, then the SEC, which governs who can invest in different kinds of securities, decides that you can invest in a VC fund. And the reason why they want to make sure only some people do is that many startups go to zero. So if you're a public company, there are requirements in the kind of disclosures you have to make. And most public companies have to have more predictable revenue, but startups can go to zero. And so, buyer beware if you're going to invest in a startup. And a VC is just investing in a few different startups. And actually, some VCs lose money. They do worse than the market. And so the SEC is trying to make it so that only sophisticated investors can go into the market. There are a few trends here. One is that tech companies represent a lot of the innovation in an economy. So it's where a lot of fertile ground for new ideas come into play. And many companies are delaying going public when a Main Street investor would be able to have access to these companies. And so as a result, a lot of the growth for Main Street investors just isn't there because by the time it goes public, the company is already very well established. So the kinds of investing that venture capitalists do in the early stages, even though it seems kind of rich where you value companies at tens of millions of dollars, that is orders of magnitude less than the billions of dollars that when they go public. And all of the trends point to this as far as the valuation of the companies when they go public, how much revenue they have, how much profit they have when they go public. And of course, you could go too far in another direction. So in the dot-com bubble, what happened was that companies were coming up with a business plan, going public, and taking that money to build the product and hoping there's a market there. This is all while the internet is orders of magnitude smaller market than it is today. And so there are ways to do this incorrectly, and tech seems to be swinging wildly on a pendulum. The good news is that the LPs, the limited partners that invest in VC funds, tend to also represent Main Street in very specific ways. So if you have a university, a lot of the scholarships will come from endowments, and those endowments have sometimes billions of dollars. And like any other investor, it's not like they just put that money in a savings account when you have billions of dollars. You put it in public stocks and bonds and real estate, and you also invest a small portion of it into venture capital. So the investors in VCs that are sophisticated money managers, they do actually benefit, the students that are getting a scholarship. Another example is pension funds. And so if you are a teacher or a firefighter or part of a union, there can be a pension that helps your retirement be more comfortable. And if your pension fund has better returns, there's more money to have better retirement. And so there are connections that a lot of people don't really talk about, so that when a startup does well, it looks like, the founders and early employees and investors did really well. But then the the investors in the VCs also did well. So I welcome this change where Sahil was able to really successfully and very quickly use his social capital from a large Twitter presence, but also as a very established founder in Silicon Valley to be able to become an investor. And I also welcome that more people can get access because he can say raise that shingle and say, hey, I'm raising a fund. And the kind of people that will typically invest in this are going to be close to tech is what I expect. And so you can think about where this might go. Like what if all the LPs in Y Combinator are the Y Combinator founders and not other investors? And so the benefits of some companies doing well in a given portfolio is that more companies will be backed, and there's a nice flywheel effect that can come from that. And so I welcome these kinds of changes, and it's really exciting. If you like this video, please subscribe and click that bell icon to get notified when we have a new video. This one was quick, and we also have longer interviews with investors and founders to talk about the companies they're helping build. Thanks.